Hi, and welcome to my new video. So in this video, I'm planning to um, talk about a movie that's called How to Make a Killing. It's a 2026 stylish black comedy, and here I will review the movie first and then make an analysis after the review. And we'll go into its own deeper themes, to break down the themes of that movie, behind what its take is on themes like wealth, class, and morality. This film also mixes very dark humor as well with some surprisingly heavy ideas, which you will see later in my review. And for me, really, it really landed a very high 4 out of 5 stars. So let's just go into this story and analyze it and review it, and why for me it's a lot more than just murder for money. Let's go into it. There is a persistent myth in our culture that money can't buy happiness. But as Becket Redfellow tells us right at the start of John Patton Ford's 2026 black comedy thriller, How to Make a Killing, that's dead wrong. Directed by Ford and starring a magnetic Glen Powell, this film is a stylish, cynical, and surprisingly deep exploration of class, inheritance, and the stories we tell ourselves to stay sane while doing the unthinkable. I absolutely love this movie. It's loosely inspired by the 1949 classic Kind Hearts and Coronets, but it breathes a modern, ruthless energy into that old eat the rich premise. I'm giving it a solid 4 out of 5 stars. While critics were somewhat mixed on its tonally bizarre nature, I found that tonal whiplash to be the entire point. It's a film that wants to have its cake and murder the baker too. The film is framed as a tragic confession given by Becket while he sits on death row. But as we quickly learn, Becket doesn't see himself as a common criminal. He sees himself as a man simply reclaiming a birthright that was stolen from him before he was even born. The story begins with Mary Estella Redfellow, an heiress to a multi-billion-dollar fortune who was cast out of a family for choosing to keep her pregnancy. Becket grows up in the shadow of a life he was supposed to have. His mother raises him with the culture, class, and style of a highborn young man, as he says, despite their financial handicap. On her deathbed, Mary makes Becket promise one thing, that he won't quit until he has the right kind of life, the life he deserves. This is the film's moral inciting incident. It frames Beckett's subsequent murders not as greed, but as a filial duty to his mother's memory. Years later, Becket is working a dead-end job in finance when a chance encounter with his childhood friend, Julia Steinway, and a humiliating demotion at work pushes him over the edge. He realizes there are 7 Redfellows standing between him and a fortune. As he puts it, If I were to prune a few branches of the family tree, where would I start? The first half of the film is a masterclass in dark humor. Becket systematically eliminates his cousins. Taylor, the arrogant broker, Noah, the white Basquiat artist, Stephen, the paranoid megachurch pastor. What makes these scenes work is Glen Powell's energized sense of play. He treats each murder like a business transaction, a necessary step in a journey of 1,000 miles. This leads to one of the film's sharpest themes, the performance of class. After Taylor's accidental quote-unquote death, Becket's Uncle Warren offers him Taylor's old job. Becket, who is not even remotely qualified, as they say in the movie, thrives because he learns the language of the elite. He notes that the wealthiest people don't actually make money, they just keep a percentage of what others make.
Apologies, who's asking?
Hope this isn't a bad time.
We see Becket split between two worlds. Julia represents the toxic, manipulative allure of the old guard. She is a lump of coal with makeup, as Becket eventually calls her. Ruth, on the other hand, is a teacher who loves him when he lived in Newark and took the bus, as she said. She represents an authentic life, one where dreaming small is actually a form of courage. The film reaches its thematic peak when Becket finally meets the Patriarch, Whitelaw Redfellow. Ed Harris is terrifying here. He is the mirror image of who Becket is becoming. Whitelaw tells Becket that the only thing that hurts us in life is the voice of our own conscience. He says,
if you know how to turn your head just right into the wind, you can make that voice go down to a whisper.
This is the movie's core message. The Redfellow fortune isn't just money. It's the ability to silence your own soul. It's the ultimate luxury, the freedom from guilt. Ironically, Becket's final murder, the one that makes him the sole heir, is the only one that was as he says, a perfectly legitimate act of self-defense. He has played by the rules of the jungle and won. But the film isn't done with him yet. The tragedy Becket mentions is this cosmic irony. He goes to prison for the one thing he didn't do. It's a brilliant narrative choice that highlights the randomness of justice in a world built on theft and inheritance. In the end, Becket is forced to choose between the fortune and his freedom. He signs the billions over to Julia. When he's finally released, the right kind of life he fought for is gone. Ruth returns his mother's locket, the only piece of his past left, and leaves him without a word. Becket ends up in the back of the Redfellow's limousine with Julia, heading towards the mansion that is now hers. He has his life, but he has lost his soul. He has successfully silenced the whisper of his conscience, but in doing so, he has also become a ghost in his own story. How to Make a Killing is a fantastic film because it doesn't offer easy moralizing. It shows us that in the pursuit of what we think we deserve, we often destroy the things that actually makes us human. Warren Redfellow's advice earlier in the film serves as the final stinging reminder.
Work at loving them. I mean, really work. Because at the end of the day, it's the only job that pays.
This movie is a 4-star experience because it manages to be both a thrilling heist of a family tree and a sobering look at the price of entry into the upper echelon. It reminds us that deserving a life is often just a pretty word for taking it. The Redfellows didn't just pass down money. They pass down the silence of the wind, and by the time you realize you're shivering, there's no one left to hear you scream. Thank you for watching, and feel free to click like and subscribe. What did you think about the movie?